Towards the end of my sophomore year of college, I learned about an opportunity to travel abroad to the state of Kerala in southern India. In an instant, I knew that I had to go. There was nothing in my life that I had wanted more. As soon as we arrived in India, I knew that I was exactly where I needed to be. For the first time in my life, I felt entirely at peace with myself and with the world. I was in a state of euphoria for the entire 2 weeks that I spent there. I loved everything about the magnificent country. The smells, the sounds, the colors, the foods, and the backcountry. Most importantly, I loved the people. The people of India were always very pleased by our willingness to participate in their culture, from hairstyles and clothing to attempts to speak Malayalam and eat without utensils. We traveled to India with the intention of studying gender and poverty. However, I left India having learned so much more. I learned about love, life, happiness, gratitude, and hope. Our teachers were the young girls at the Home of Hope orphanage in the city of Cochin. The first time that we went to visit the girls at the orphanage was indescribable. They were all so excited to see us. They swarmed around us, pinching our cheeks and smiling from ear to ear. The children had prepared and performed songs, as well as presented each of us with a single red rose and a traditional bindi. The girls at the Home of Hope were so brilliant and full of life, despite having been through the turmoil that each had faced so early in life. Some of the girls had come from beggar gangs, some had been sold by their fathers to a life of prostitution, and others had been abandoned on the streets. Many had faced a childhood of abuse and neglect. I could not fathom how anyone or anything could cause harm to such beautiful and wonderful girls. They gave so much, despite having so little, and the thought of their laughter continues to make my heart smile. They were always laughing. The girls at the orphanage would laugh with me as I stumbled over the words and phrases they taught me in Malayalam. They giggled at me as I tried to eat like them. They giggled a lot. They were laughing because I was being so tidy while eating with my fingers. The last day that we spent at the orphanage was really special. We helped to clean up a field behind the orphanage so that the girls could play soccer. My skin stung from the mixture of the grass, rain, bugs, and copious amounts of DEET that I had applied earlier that morning. After all of our hard work, we played with the girls on a basketball court and let them take pictures with our cameras. They loved taking pictures. It was monsoon season, and in an instant it felt as though buckets of water were being dumped on us. The girls grabbed each of us by the hand, running inside to seek refuge from the heavy rains. We then sang songs inside of a small room, all huddled together closely. We decided that as a group we would perform a song for the girls before dinner. We sang Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, primarily because we all knew the words. The effect that it had on the girls was priceless. They were so excited and so pleased. I was sitting with the girls talking and laughing after our last meal together when one of our leaders placed her hand on my shoulder and whispered that it was time to get back on the bus. I began crying uncontrollably, and my heart ached in a way that I had never known was possible. I had never cried as hard as I cried that day. The girls crowded around me, comforting me and telling me not to cry but to be happy. I cried because I knew that I may never see them again. I cried because each and every one of the girls deserved so much more, to love in a way that they loved, and to receive even half of what they offered me and what they offered the world. I went to the Home of Hope orphanage in Cochin, India, determined that I would make a difference in the lives of underprivileged girls. Instead, I left having been touched in a way that I could not have ever anticipated. Despite the turmoil that many of the girls at the orphanage had faced, they were so happy and full of life. Pieces of my heart will always be with the girls at Home of Hope, and it is my mission and life goal to give back to India what India gave to me.